is up, y'all? Dumptruck here with Rider Justice for another amazing episode of Chasing the Ride podcast. I am joined by my friend, Mr. Scott O'Sullivan from the O'Sullivan Law Firm, and we've got another couple of really fun guests from the Colorado motorcycle community. Scott, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, this is a special one for us. We all have a great relationship, but speaking of relationships, let's start with where did you first start riding? When did that happen? How did motorcycles get in your life? And we'll just start following the rest after that. But introduce yourself, Aaron, first.
All right, thank you. My name's Aaron Hill. I'm with Motodemption, one of the co-founders of Motodemption. We're set up here. Thanks for letting us be part of this awesome event this weekend. But motorcycles for me have always been there. My dad was racing dirt bikes from before I was born. So at 3 years old, he rigged up some training wheels and started towing me up and down the alley with the motor off, and eventually let me turn the bike on. So so been riding motorcycles my whole life. Been a huge part of not just my life, but my family's life. Growing up racing and stuff is every weekend, during the summertime, we're out at the racetrack racing, meeting guys like this guy, one of my best friends in the world, and then obviously met him through racing, and then all the countless other people that I've been able to meet through motorcycles and stuff. So, as we all know, that's best thing in the world. So.
Nice, yeah. Davey. How about you? Who are you?
Davey Gonzalez. With this guy, co-founder of Motodemption and helping out. And I'm quite the opposite. I have no one in my family that rode motorcycles, and I was always just enthralled with them. I don't know what it was. They were like interesting, like a spaceship or something like that. When I was a little kid, I just was completely enthralled with them. So I would beg my dad just to take me down to the motorcycle shop just so I could look at them. There was no one really in my family that rode. Still to this day, really no one rides, but for some odd reason, I was just always drawn to them. And finally, after enough pestering and bothering my parents, and
it's called perseverance.
Plenty of perseverance. My mom finally caved, and they got me like an old 1979 Kawasaki 100, and then it was game over. And then after that led to other stuff, and then competing, and then I met some of my best friends to this day, where we all grew up riding and racing, and it's incredible what now other stuff has turned into, including Motodemption. So.
And that kind of takes us to what we were wanting our next point to be, is we want to talk about you guys' friendship. So when in your life did y'all actually meet, and when did that actually evolve into a friendship?
I want to say I was 94.
How old were you?
Yeah, somewhere around there, probably.
I was 14.
15, 16 maybe. Yep. And we were racing 125 novice class together here in Colorado, and that's where it all started. And then just kind of grew up racing together. He was down in the Springs, I was up in Denver, but our families would meet and hang out every weekend, and here we are.
Who was faster?
Who was faster?
I'm claiming it.
Yeah.
We both had our better days.
I'm always a little bit jealous of friends like y'all, because I moved around a lot as a kid, my dad being a roughneck in the oil industry and all that kind of stuff. And then as an adult, I'm 46 and I've only had an actual address for about 5.5 years of it. And so it's always displaced, and it's a different kind of bond when you get that day to day. You guys have been influencing each other's life for 30 years.
Yep. Exactly. So
that's amazing.
And we have a great crew. It's it's not just us. We have a great crew that expands to quite a few people, and we all grew up together, like old friends, and it's diehard friends. No matter what, we're there for each other, and we're extremely fortunate. We really, really are. We understand that. We know that, and it's amazing to kind of have that friends group and that kind of support group. And that's a perfect example when he got hurt. In 08 when he got hurt. The community, the motocross, the motorcycle community all came together like no other. It was absolutely insane, and it's because of our friends.
Are you cool with talking about that day?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like Davey said, actually we were together, had just a local race here in Colorado that we were going out to up at the old Bertha motocross track up north. And
Should we start from the beginning? He basically said we're racing on Sunday, and he'll pick me up at 6 o'clock. And that morning at 6 o'clock, I called him and woke him up. And he was still sleeping in. So now we were running late to the race. Now carry on.
Didn't want you to forget that little piece.
Yeah. So
feet to the flame.
So we were in a bit of a scramble, to say the least, which, who knows if that's the cause of it or not. But, we were just going out to have a fun ride day. It wasn't even a serious race. I had stopped racing competitively a couple years before that. But we were just going out, having fun, no big deal. And I was in practice that morning and got a couple laps of practice in, and I was coming across, they were starting to wave us off, and I could see the next practice going, and I was like, I can make it around the turn before they get there, because I was just having so much fun, I was riding a buddy's KX 250, don't get to ride the two-strokes a lot anymore these days, so man, I was just out there having fun, and coming down a hill, nothing crazy, going into a turn, lost the front end, and then basically landed on my chest, and it scorpioned my legs to where they came up over my back, and that's what broke my back. But, I remember the crash and thinking, okay, no big deal. It's been a while since I've had a big one, no big deal. I've crashed like this, plenty of times. And, put my hand on my legs, and I was like, oh man, that's different. I knew right then something wasn't right, and obviously wasn't able to get up at that point. But, you never think it's going to be permanent. You always think, okay, it's a stinger, I'll be back up and at them, little rehab, no big deal. But, once they told me it is permanent, I knew that, okay, it's almost a blessing in a way, because it laid out what exactly my challenge was. And so from that point, I was like, well, I know I'm going to be in a chair, but I know there's still lots of stuff that I want to do. And motorcycles was the number one thing, even though that is what got me hurt. It's also the only thing that I've ever done my entire life. And the opportunities that it's given me, the people that I've gotten to meet, like Davey said, the community here in Colorado, the friends that I have, there's absolutely nothing in the world that can replace that. And it's all because of motorcycles, And, the experiences we've had together are just all because of motorcycles.
Yeah, one thing that impresses me is when there's such a permanent effect on a motorcycle crash happens to a man. And I've got a couple of friends of mine who are partial amputees and things like that from the same scenario, and literally go to visit them the next day in the hospital, and he's got a pirate patch on his eye, and he's making pirate jokes when we walked in less than 24 hours later. He's one of my very closest friends, and he lost his leg from down here. We were riding together that day. And the ability to accept the situation and to instantly let it be your next driving force is something I didn't even know existed in a person, and it's really impressive. How long did it take you to accept the situation and be like, okay, what's next? How can I, fulfill my life's dreams now?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it was pretty much within I would say the first month for sure, but for the first couple of weeks until I got the 100% word from the doctor that it was permanent, and I wasn't going to be up walking again. But I pretty quickly after that, it was like, all right, this is what it is. I can't change it, so let's move forward. And obviously having that great support system around me made that possible. So
well, when that first happened, we didn't none of us believed it. We after that race, we went to the hospital, and basically he went into CAT scan, MRI, and then the nurses came out and they're like, hey, we need to talk to family. We're like, well, this is about as close as you got right now, so give us the news. And they're like, all right, he complete sever of the spinal cord, 100% permanent loss. And we didn't believe it. We're like, yeah, we think you got the wrong guy. That wasn't a hard crash. And they're like, nope, it's him. And so it's kind of funny. It's odd how sometimes those small crashes can turn into something. You just never know. But going back to the topic of hand, I mean, within 2 hours, I think there was about 250 people in the waiting room all ready to all support there, at the hospital. So it was, the community just came out immediately for it. So.
And that's how you're surrounding yourself with actual support. You find out when it hits the fan, you look around, and these are the people who actually are your friends. And not everyone you think that should be there is there either, you know? And to be one of the support friends, like, what is one of the first things that everyone did when they got together to support this man?
I bought him a Hannah Montana blanket so that he
Yes.
could lay in his room, that way everyone, so I did
Why
that.
are we
just to
so
give
mean
him
to each
plenty
other?
of shit on that. So I don't know why. He was there at checkout. I had to go get him some supplies, and I was like, I think he needs this.
Do you still cuddle with that blanket today?
Absolutely. So the answer to the question is they continue to make fun of me just like they did before.
Yeah,
Is it
100%.
such nice boys.
Yeah, we're about equality. That's right. Nothing changes.
Nobody rides for free, right?
But one of the things you were mentioning, and you had mentioned too, is that, and I've seen it with now countless numbers of my clients, is they're already thinking about, even amputation, partial paralysis, it doesn't matter what it is, their next thought is, what's my next bike? How am I going to get riding again? Literally still in the hospital. And I've always loved that, because because it's like, all right, this is it, now next. And that's a big deal. And then, so as you're recovering, and then what happens next with you guys? Where does Motodemption get born from?
Yeah, so actually it was completely organic. Never would have thought in a million years it would have been something we would be doing. But, I wanted to get back on the bike. So Davey was there with me. We built my first bike, a YZ 450 in 2010. And then started riding again right away. Would go out riding. Knew some other people that had gotten injured, and then in 2015,
the first bike that we built was they've come a long ways. But let's
A lot of
just say,
learning moments.
Yeah, I mean, it was he was a machinist and welder by trade. I used to be a mechanic, and we're just like, all right, let's just try building him a bike. But the first one we built there's a lot of duct tape, there's a lot of weird straps, and
It's fine. Everything's fine.
And we're just like, and one of the things is he had one major stipulation, is that his very first ride had to be at the very track that he crashed at. He had to get redemption at Moto, and that's why we named the foundation Motodemption. But that was also quite a few years down the line. But continue on. But I mean, that first bike was. I was more like a Frankenstein piece of art. That was weird.
because really nobody else was doing it. We didn't know what we were doing. We were just winging it. We have ideas, and so in 2015, actually won a bike from Vana magazine, which used to be Meta magazine, so I had two bikes that we had, and like I said, some more people came out riding, and then. Met this kid, Trevor Kennison. Davey had known him for a while, and took him out riding. And then one of the organizations that he works with a lot reached out and got a hold of us, and like, you guys are onto something. There's a ton of people that would love to get out there and ride. So in 2020, we hosted our very first ever Motodemption camp up in Leadville at the track there with two.
Look here.
Oh yeah, the holiday Moto.
Holiday
That's
Moto.
great.
Yeah. I know it's after, but yeah.
Brown noser. Totally.
Stop it. Keep going.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Do it again.
So had that first camp, and just had the two adaptive bikes, and probably, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 athletes, and it took off right after that. Once we realized how meaningful it was to the people that were getting out there riding. Like, I knew it was meaningful to me, someone who had grown up racing, and it's been basically my whole life. These are people that, we get a lot of people that are, racers and that sort of stuff, but most of the people are just part of the motorcycling community. They rode on the street, they rode trails, they rode in their grandpa's backyard when they were a kid, and so once we realized that people, no matter what their background is, they just want to get out there and experience something that they thought they'd never be able to do again. And it dawned on us as like, man, we got to keep this going, because it's absolutely the most amazing thing to.
Well, hold on. Let's go back. Like, all right, we got to let.
That's your whole role in this
We
partnership.
have to
Barry. It's
cut
like,
Aaron off, because he'll go ahead and go and transfer to 3 years down the road. But we got him riding, and then after that, he won that bike, and then we got a great friend, Justin Hirsch. He got injured, and then we got him riding, and that was one of the decisions when we got that extra bike is what do we do with it? And Aaron's like, let's just pay it forward. Let's get other people riding. And so we got Justin Hirsch riding. And then, unfortunately, another friend, CJ Powell, who's still involved with the organization now today, he got injured and we were able to get him riding. And, and then after that, Trevor Kennison, who I was friends with on the snow side of things, he kind of just saw it like, hey, I see what you're doing. And if anyone that doesn't know Trevor Kennison, look him up. There's a full feature film on Netflix about him. He's just an incredible human.
It's so cool.
Yeah, just an incredible, just inspiring human. And he was injured snowboarding, and he basically like, heck, I used to ride moto. Can you guys take me out? We're like, sure, let's do it. We took him out to Erie, IMI, and then after that, he posted it, and within like 2 minutes, he was jumping, freaking us out, absolutely scared as can be. And he ended up going like no other. And then after that, he posted it. And that's when some foundations, High Fives Foundation, saw it. And they were a big supporter of Trevor. And they're like, heck, we love what you're doing. Let's do something together. Let's do a camp. And we're like, all right, let's do it. And Roy Tuscany, who is another incredibly just inspirational human and adaptive athlete himself, they went ahead and we just now talk with those guys, got talking with those guys, and now we work with them all the time. And they are just an incredible foundation. And we have our foundation, and after that we just have done camps, and now we're working with so many other things. But that was kind of like the spawn of it.
So that Netflix special, your friend turned me on to that, and I watched it after right after he told me. If you get a chance, I can't remember what it's called.
Full Circle.
Full Circle. Wow. Watch. Like, my palms were sweating.
Yeah.
Like, that first, half hour, it hooks you. And I'm not going to ruin what he does, but holy shit.
Palms are sweaty, and at a point, you'll probably need a little bit of, Kleenex near you as well.
Oh, for sure.
Because it is an
Absolutely.
incredible documentary about two more so incredible humans. But good old Trevor Kennison is incredible. So...
I want to know what the engineering process is, like what's required to modify a motorcycle to make it safe and fun for you to ride.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is the safety cage, because you want to make sure we're keeping everybody safe. And then obviously with being paralyzed, we are strapped to the motorcycle. So number one goal has always been safety and developing that safety cage. So we're actually on our 7th generation of safety cage right now. And we're super happy with this one. On this last generation, we actually worked with the Colorado School of Mines to help design it. And they actually worked off our previous designs and then was able to reduce the weight of the cage to just provide some better handling of the bike and everything with the rider on there while keeping that same safety factor for the rider.
What did you do to do that? Did you go to Chromoly? Did they 3D scan everything and put it in digital and modify it that way? What was that process?
Yeah, exactly. Up to that point, we have been using regular mild steel. And so we went up with the Chromoly, was able to, with the added strength of the chromoly, we are able to use less material, but just achieve the same strength out of the cage. So that was a huge factor. And then, as well as just the design shape of the cage was able to add some strength to it as well. So with their engineering and their expertise, it led to taking about 15 pounds out of the bike.
That's a lot of weight when you got a motorcycle that doesn't weigh a lot in the first place.
A lot.
Exactly, yeah. And a lot of it's up high as well, which is not what you want. So so it made a huge difference in the handling of the bike, for sure.
Well, and originally there was a guy named Ricky James that kind of built his own bike, so we didn't really get a chance to know him or really get in contact with him until later, but he really was able to be the pioneer on kind of helping design a bike. And so we just saw pictures of his bike, and then from there say, all right, let's probably duplicate it. Let's see what we can come up with, and with some duct tape, as well. And then after that, it kind of spawned from first generation that was pretty sketchy, and then, all right, now here we can improve it. Now we have another bike to work on. Now we can improve that, and then, because there's no schematics, there's nothing out there that shows us how we can do this. So we've always been in constant uncharted territories on how to do this, and a lot of people reach out to us, hey, how do you do this? We don't know. We got to figure it out. And so that's what we do. We figure it out. And now we have a team of engineers. that really help put it through FEA analysis. They help us go through all the different stress tests and really getting into CAD and SolidWorks. And now it's really becoming like a technological advancement, and it's based off of just the sheer demand of applications that we need for this, foundation and really for the sport.
It kind of sounds like it's becoming a little bit of a movement. It started with one guy that did his own thing, and now you've created an entire a situation around it where it caters to a number of folks. Like, how many people participate in what you do?
Oh gosh, we don't know. That's a great question. Ricky James, would I say, and that guy is the pioneer, and just to this day, he's just a bad dude. That guy's an incredible human. And then there was also another big ripple in the sport when Doug Henry, got injured, and that was in 07, I think. Something like that, yeah. And he was factory Honda #1 rider in the world at one point, factory Yamaha, and he helps out with the foundation now. But it just really started being, unfortunately, no one wants to talk about it, but you ride a motorcycle for 10, 20, 30 years. Unfortunately, someone that's had a life-changing injury, and so a lot of people don't want to talk about this tough subject, and we want to just help out people that want to kind of get a piece of their life back.
How do you think we make it easier to talk about? That's a big thing.
I think just don't avoid it.
This stuff like this, that, and then, a lot of it is just, I think, yeah, it's uncomfortable like anything else. It is uncomfortable. But I think part of it is too because then people think that it's always a bad thing, where, yeah, something bad may have happened, but it doesn't mean it has to stay a bad thing, and you can get back up and yeah, you may not be able to ride your motorcycle the exact same way you used to, but you can still get up and ride your motorcycle. And I think that's part of it too, is people don't realize you can keep going on with life and keep moving forward.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the emotional fortitude that we don't even know we're capable of having until we're called upon and it's required. It's like, do you want to stop or do you want to keep going? And you have to make that actual choice. And I feel like I don't know, but I feel like a lot of that has to do with accepting the situation as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we work now with Craig Hospital, and that's probably one of the biggest things that every time there's someone that kind of can relate to us, they call us in to come talk with a new patient or a new crew of patients. Actually, ironically, Josiah, we just actually talked to him at Craig. He's a Craig alumni right here. And, we just basically talk to them, hey, this is what we do. This is some stuff to really look forward to. But what we consider ourselves is a post 1 year quality of life foundation. So the first year, they really kind of take care of the necessities. Learning rehabilitation, learning the steps to live every day with the
before
injury.
you even get to the bikes. Yeah.
So exactly. So and so they have to take care of some really crucial parts first, and then once come 1 year, which is kind of recommended for spinal cord healing, then at that point it's like, all right, now let's start enjoying some life again. Let's start improving the quality of life. And 10 years ago, Craig Hospital will be the first one to say, hey, you could do 4 things. Hey, here's 4 things you can do. You can do wheelchair basketball or something like that. And now, even in the last 10 years, in a decade, it's almost like, what do you want to do? And so everybody, all the technology that's come through, and just the adaptive community has increased quite a bit in the last 10 years, and we're honored just to be a part of it, and working with some of these incredible foundations. But yeah.
That's so rad.
So as you now have, grown it, you have different events, you have different things that you guys are doing, and maybe talk about what those are so more people can get involved, more people can donate. What are some of the things you guys do?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is just hosting camps and ride days to get people out riding. So, of course, we always need volunteers and stuff like that. We got a great group of people that we work with on a pretty consistent basis as far as that goes. That and then fundraising, like anything. We're a nonprofit organization, and it takes a lot of money to build bikes, host the camps, and provide the tracks and the gear and all the safety equipment for everybody. But yeah, that's the main thing is just having those camps and spreading the joy of riding the motorcycle and sharing the love of the two wheels, and yeah.
How many camps do you guys have a year usually?
Well, in 2025 we had 3, which was a lot, and being a glutton for punishment, we went ahead and added 2 more this year.
You did this to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely, and just the demand is there. People want to have it, so we have 5 camps this year. 2 of them will be in Leadville, Colorado.
Tell people about that track, because it's a special place, I think.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's the highest track in the world, as I understand it. It's definitely North America, but I think it's the highest track in the world, 10,100 feet. And that track is nestled in the trees with the snowy mountain caps behind you. It is the most picturesque, unbelievable track. And the people that run that track, they are such supporters of this foundation. So we basically get to go up there and take it over for a few days and camp and ride dirt bikes, and it's absolutely incredible. It's what a great track up there.
Yeah. So exactly like Davey's saying, then we'll have our instructors up there and everything, and then generally try and have about 10 to 12 riders per camp to get out there, and generally for 2 days, and get out there and rip it up.
I love it. So, like, what is the level you're able to ride at with your new setup? I mean, can you get around a flat track and have a party with it? Are you able to do more motocross stuff and trail riding? Like, how fast are you riding? I know nothing.
Honestly, it's been absolutely amazing. So we get people come into the camps of all skill ranges. We've actually had 5 people come and ride with us that had never ridden a motorcycle before in their life. And they were in a wheelchair, wow. And they're like, strap me on, let's go.
I love that attitude.
That is amazing.
So yeah, everything from that to, so obviously working with those people, we have, TTR 125 that we can get them on, that's super mellow, low power. And we'll have the instructors will go out and work with them just on the basis, just going straight, making a turn, just getting them comfortable so that they can experience that. And then, eventually if they, get up to that level, we'll get them out on the track and stuff. And then, of course, there's all the people that were pro-level riders that get out there, jump big-ass jumps and the whole deal, so.
That's right. I would love, and this is none of my business, but I think it would be really rad if y'all were able to activate at Four Corners Motorcycle Rally, which Rider Justice is the Big Daddy sponsor of everything there, because that would be a really great audience to continue to get the word out and start having that conversation more. I am wildly intrigued. This is I didn't even know the conversation was coming today, so I'm like, how? I bet you're faster than me too, which is really, maybe I need to go to your class and learn how to ride better my damn self. I could need a cage. You've never seen me ride.
Yeah, well, and the competitive genes are always there at these camps, it doesn't matter. So even if you're brand new, once you kind of start to feel that feeling that all motorcycle riders know, all right, how fast can I go?
Yeah.
And of course they push it, and it's a trip. And also to answer your question, we deal with a lot of skill, or basically not just skill levels, but injury levels. So we mostly focus on paraplegics. So paraplegics and also amputees, lower limb amputees. We have gotten one quadriplegic back on, which is hands down my favorite story.
That's why
it really is.
I want to hear about it. Tell us more.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means.
Oh man, I don't know if I can. That's it. Always gets me.
I brought Kleenex.
All right. So there was an incredible human named Chris Waker, and he was a professional snowboarder, but he also rode Moto, and he applied to come to a camp, and of course as we look through the application, we see that he's a quadriplegic. And I call him, I'm sorry, man, you're a quad. We can't get you on a bike yet. It's just we're not set up for it. And he's like, I don't care. I just want to come to camp. I just want to be a part of it. I just want to be there. I just want to be with everybody. And, the community. I was like, all right, if that's the case, then so be it. Come on up. We'll take you up there. And he came up, and he was the most just smiley, uplifting, positive kid on the planet. And if you guys look up Chris Waker, you just look up even his Instagram, all it is him smiling. He has the biggest, most infectious smile. And after the first day, we got all the camp riders and athletes done, and then the second day he was still like on the side of the track waving and just happy as can be. We got done with the second day, and all the instructors were still suited up, but all the riders were pretty much done, and he was just too positive, just like kind of like, screw it, dude. Chris, do you want to ride? You want to try this? He's like, let's do it. So we went ahead and put him on a bike, and we basically were able to kind of secure his feet in there, and then I got behind him, and what we did is we basically duct tape our torsos together. So I was his crutch, and he was basically able to lean on the crossbar, and we got all the instructors basically to surround us in case anything kind of happened, and all of our instructors, they go through safety protocols for it, and so I was like, all right, what do you want to do? And he's like, well, let's go roll a tabletop. I'm like, done. Let's go do it. So
if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it.
Yeah. So then we went ahead. We went out on the track, and he was just like laughing, and he was also kind of like, I can't believe I'm riding again. He's like, it wasn't just something. He's like, I didn't think I was gonna ride. I knew I wasn't gonna ride. So we went ahead and did like that one lap and did a tabletop. I was like, all right, what now? He's like, let's do another lap. Let's do 2 tabletops. Done. So we went ahead, and on that second lap, he started to get pretty emotional. And he he just really was having a hard time taking it all in. And so once we got done with that second lap, we went back, and of course, everyone crowded us, not only just like the instructors, but all the volunteers and all the people. They knew the level of really what just happened, and we got us, cut us apart and unstrapped and got him back in his chair, and he broke down, and everyone else crowded him and broke down as well. And it was such an emotional, incredible moment. It really was. So I think that's probably my favorite. I got a lot of favorites, but I think that's probably like the tippy top one, because we did something that we didn't think we could do, is get a quadriplegic riding like that, and he loved it.
One of the questions, that's an amazing story, by the way, and it's what an honor to be able to impact somebody's life that way.
Yeah.
Like, to have that be what you do with your life is an absolutely fantastic thing. And you had a similar experience, I'm sure, the first time going back to the track that bit you. Like, oh, yeah. When you got through that track and past that moment, past that geological location where you took that spill, like, what was going through you? Like, because that took a lot of work. That was your closure track right there.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's definitely emotional. I know it was for me, and I guess that's kind of one of the biggest things that Davey and I have learned with the camps is yes, we go out there to ride motorcycles, but the motorcycle is really only about 50% of it. The rest of it is the community and the adaptive community that comes together. Like Davey was saying, I was very fortunate to have the support system that I had when I got injured, and to have people there to come and visit me and still make fun of me and all that stuff, just like it used to be, where there's so many people out there that get injured and don't have that. And so a lot of times them coming to one of our camps is one of their first experiences getting to be around people in the same situation, or just people that are there to support them, because they got 1 or 2 people in their life, and that's about it. And they get to come and interact with people that are going through the same thing as them, that are having the same struggles and that sort of stuff. And then they get to go do something that they never thought they'd be able to get to do again on top of it. And so it just really brings the community together. Like Davey said, we love to be able to camp out after the first day, have some great dinner, play some games, sit around the campfire, all that kind of stuff, and really just get to hang out and we've like Davey said, we've met some of the most incredible people through this.
Hands down, the community is what it's become. It's the riding is actually at these camps are probably 50% of really what is important. And the other 50% is just getting to have the community together, the environment, the camaraderie. That's what has become so important as well. And get them together to where they can talk with people that they can relate to, that's in the same situation, play games, have some good stories around the campfire. that's honestly, that is what has become some of the most cherishable moments, for sure.
One of the things that amazes me about motorcycles in general is is that their ability to actually be therapeutic for you, like throttle therapy. It's a term. And
Can't replace it.
Yeah, whenever I got out of the military, I came with some of those fantastic acronyms that follow you for the rest of your life that you have to go to the therapist to deal with, and I didn't know that. And when my first time I got to go to the VA hospital and learn about PTSD and anxiety and depression and like all those things, one of the things that he said after our first session, he goes, "You don't know it, but you've actually been going to therapy on your own while you've been on your motorcycle from what you've told me." And I have had so many aha moments where I just gained a new perspective on either how I was acting or treating people or whatever the subject matter may have been. And for that to be like a tool that's not only for like partying and having a good time, but also for personal embetterment, whether you realize you're doing it or not. I mean, it's just another thing that makes motorcycles powerful, I think. And it's just really cool. This is another prime example of that. How it's not just a good time; it's also a good time, and it can really bring people together for one cause, and that's to thrive and to continue to make stories and not just talk about 3 years ago. Let's talk about what we're doing tomorrow. And I absolutely love that. I don't know where I'd be without motorcycles. I'd probably have a short haircut or something. I'd probably smell better too.
100%. And I mean, it's hard to replace motorcycle therapy, especially once you've experienced it. So we have a lot of people that want to experience that again and get their piece of themselves back, which is incredible. And we always want to do that. But you know what? There's a lot of people that haven't gotten that feeling and understand it. So what we find ourselves is we're getting a lot of applications from people that have never ridden a motorcycle even prior to their injury. Some people that have been injured for 10, 15, 20, 25 years, and this was never a possibility for them. There was never an outlet for them to be able to ride something, an adaptive motorcycle. So these people, they're like, I want to try that. Now I can actually have access to ride a dirt bike in a good environment or a safe environment with professional instructors and all the correct apparatuses. I want to do that. So the amount of applications we're getting from people that have never ridden is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And that's something, again, that we never expected.
What is, because of that, what's the vision then, if you could map out the next 3 years, let's just say? What would your ideal goals be for your nonprofit?
Well, to start...
There's only so many of you guys.
Yeah.
Right, so how do you do that? How do you grow?
Well, we got to start small, One, me and Aaron, we still have our full-time jobs. We do this because we love it, and what it's growing into is incredible. So we would love to turn this into a full-time thing so that we can help more people. But and then second, we have 5 camps this year. We probably would love to really expand maybe like another 1 to 2 camps each year moving forward. And probably one of the biggest hindrances is getting adaptive athletes to the camps. So if we can kind of expand to like new locations and make it easier for them to come to us, that would really be helpful to so many other. We get applications from Brazil, from Canada, from France, but also all across the United States. So it's a matter of like, all right, how do we help get it? Because one of the biggest problems is just them getting to us. So if we can keep expanding a couple camps each year, that'd be incredible.
What do you think, Aaron?
No, I agree with Davey. Our problem isn't the lack of demand out there. Unfortunately, people are going to continue to get hurt and continue to want to do rad things after they get hurt. So, we're young. We've only been around a few years now, and so yeah, we've up to this point, in the last 4 years, we've been able to get over 50 people out riding motorcycles with us. So, we just want to continue to build on that. And the more camps we can have and the more funding we're able to bring in, then it just makes it easier to actually even provide scholarships to people to be able to provide some travel expense, help with some travel expenses, that sort of thing. Because when they do come to the camp, we provide everything. We have some great sponsors behind us, like Fox and Bell and Recluse and Applied Technologies and all these people that help us, make it possible. But it's still, it takes an army, So let's talk about your third job that you guys have.
and the big race that you guys do. I'll let you talk about it, but Dealer Cup, let's talk about that a little bit, because that's also part of your brainchild.
Yeah, Colorado Dealer Cup. It is exactly that, a brainchild of just, I've been a sales rep for a long time with all the motorcycle shops, and I believe that they're the unsung heroes in our motorcycle industry. I do. I've seen it behind the scenes so much of like a tech guy or some sort of technician that's rushing to get a bike ready for some of the racers, late at night, and I don't know, they're basically the bloodline in terms of our industry, and I truly believe that. So.
So what is it? I know what it is, but tell people what it is.
I'm a motocrosser at heart, so I was like, all right, what's something that can bring the dealers together? And I'm a big fan of Motocross of Nations, and I love like the motocross competition, so I was like, all right. With a couple of friends, Connor Olson we are like the original guys, kind of like talked about it, but what if we had a competition in a race where all the dealers competed against each other? And it was originally called Dealer Donations, but then we're like, it'd be cool if they had like a Stanley Cup to keep and to display over the year if they win it. So then we migrated it to Dealer Cup, and that has become like a whole nother thing. We have a theme each year. People go all out, but now each dealership, they basically have an employee team of 2 riders and a sponsored rider team of 2 riders, and then they have 3 motos of each class, and then they combine the scores, and whoever with the lowest score, just like Motocross of Nations scoring, they basically win the Dealer Cup, and they get to display it for at their shop for a year.
And one of the things that I love about it, I'm recently now helping with you guys and being a part of it, is that it's a true family event too. I mean, you got little guys ripping, you got, professional level guys ripping, and you make it just such a fun family event. And as you kind of look forward into the future for that, what's your vision for the Dealer Cup?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, it's, gosh, I guess that's a great question, Scott. I don't know.
Nice job.
Really, ideally, I want more dealerships involved. This last Colorado Dealer Cup, we had 17 dealers involved, which was incredible. And now it's spawned to now we have like an industry class and an industry novice class, as well as like the mini guys. And everyone goes all out with the theme for one. So each year we have a really great theme. Last year it was TV shows and sitcoms. And you name it, there was, South Park and all these great Barbie and all these great themes. But to answer your question, what can it turn into? I mean,
Because you have a legit race, to be clear.
Yeah.
This thing is legit. This is legit racing down at Thunder Valley. Get your tickets this year. I'm not sure when you're having it this year, date announced, but
October 10th
get your tickets.
And 11th.
Yeah, you come out, because it is legit racing and just awesomeness.
Yeah, and it's at Thunder Valley. Shout out to David Claybaugh, who supports it and runs Thunder Valley. But, ideally, Dealer Cup, it'd be cool if we had maybe regional dealer cups and then have a national Dealer Cup. Like, we only have it in Colorado. So if we could have it nationally and really see who's the fastest dealership at a national level, that would be cool.
I think what's fun, too, is, if I'm not mistaken, I think Sun Harley, which is one of the sponsors for the Colorado Motorcycle Expo, they didn't do so bad last year, did they?
Sun has taken the Dealer Cup and had so much pride, and they are now two-time defending champs. So they display the cup proudly, as well as even other cups, and they bring the heat. Like, how much pride. I mean, their theme, all the graphics for all their team riders, and their setup, they love it. Absolutely love. Big shout out to Mark Kite and Brian Henderson and all those guys part of Sun, because holy smokes, do they bring the competition. It's incredible.
And they're proud of that trophy, going, yeah, these dirt bike riders, we got Harley Davidson, brother. What do they ride? Are they riding
They have a whole huge.
Or are they on proper?
They have a huge power sports division.
Oh, I know. They're not. They're not only a Harley Davidson
Yeah.
dealership. They are big in the power sports industry overall.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if they might try to throw a Harley in there every once in a while just to make it weird.
Heck, we should just do a Harley class of some sort. That's the coolest part about Dealer Cup is there's no there's no rules to it. We can really do whatever we want. So we have like an industry class that's just like all really, A's and B's, and they can just go out and battle. And we're going to have some more classes this year that we're getting ready to announce that are going to be a lot of fun and a lot of just like, we're going to throw some wrenches in people's...
They start like on a Friday night with the whole shot challenge and
Saturday
night. I'm sorry, I'm always confused.
Get it
but
together.
It's super fun to watch. It starts it off, and there's nothing more fun than dad getting on the bike and like, oh, I could do this, and they just totally bite it every single time or bog down. They're like, oh, I guess this is a little harder than I thought. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, and even before that is the culinary challenge.
Oh, yeah.
And that is turned into like a whole nother thing. Like first we're like, heck, let's just get some food out here that moms can go ahead and like show off, or the people like the cooks, I take it back, like the cooks of the families, because that's what the races are. It's all families kind of, everyone has, I got the best brisket. I got the best green chili. It's like, well, let's have a competition. So now we have a culinary challenge. And the first year we had like pork green chili. And then the next year we had grilled cheeses. You should have seen how extravagant the grilled cheese. And this last year it was mac and cheese. And they go all out with just like the most incredible dishes. And it's good because all the community gets to like taste it and try it. We have judges and we have like all this scenarios.
It was good to be a judge.
Yeah.
First tastes.
Sounds like you're volunteering for that position again.
Yes, please.
I'm an honorary judge with no responsibility whatsoever. I just get to taste everything. And it's hilarious. But you're talking about incredible dishes. Like your girl Sherry.
It was legit. Yeah, Sherry showed up.
Yeah.
I didn't know which one it was, but it was good when I found out.
Incredible. So it's a lot of fun and everyone, and then of course the whole shot challenge happens, and it's all about just a lot of shit talking with motocrossers and a bunch of stuff. And plus we also do a big tribute to veterans there, so we always try to tribute a few veterans at the Dealer Cup because I come from a big line of veteran families, so it's also fun to have like the veterans come out and they even like have their own.
Yeah, because we don't have any sense. So if
And one of the things that I do love about it too is the people coming out that are like the little guys looking up to the 10-year-olds and the 10-year-olds looking up to the teenagers and the teenagers looking up to the professionals essentially, and they're all hanging out, right? And they're all talking motorcycles, they're talking their bikes, it's just such a great multi-generational event with all these families. I just love it.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's almost like a super family-friendly, two-wheeled focused King of the Hammers.
Yeah.
Is kind of what it sounds like
really
to me.
good. Yeah, that's a really good description.
Yeah.
With almost no rules. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. All bets are off. Feel free to bring your family.
So, and I'll tell you what, one of the things that's unexpected about the Dealer Cup is how crazy the themes go.
Yeah.
Like Scott, his crew was Yellowstone this year. I had all the staff with Ted Lasso. So I was Ted Lasso, and then all the flaggers and all the safety people were all like referees and coaches and like soccer teams, but all the theme stuff is gone. It's actually taken on a trail of its own. So,
well, if people are looking for fun things to do like that, and they're looking to find more information on your how did you guys
Motodemption?
classify? Yeah, Motodemption. Thank you. Like, where do we get to find you guys at on social media, website? Give us the rundown and look in the camera when you do it.
Yeah, all the above. So.
Please visit us, motodemption.org. We are a nonprofit organization. All the funds go 100% right back into Motodemption, and we can't do it without you guys. We all know sometimes people just need a little help up in life, and Motodemption is one of those things that we're just trying to give people back an opportunity that they didn't think they would ever have, and so that's kind of just why we're out here today. If we can do a little fundraising, it just enables us to put that many more people back on two wheels.
Yeah, and Motodemption, just our handles across all social media, just at Motodemption, and you can kind of find us across all those. And with us being a nonprofit, that's what our ultimate goal is, I guess, Scott, to kind of think about that more. Our ultimate goal is to hopefully cover the costs on everyone to come. and to experience that. And so far, we've done a pretty decent job of it. But if we can cover the cost of everyone coming in the camps and have this experience and meet the incredible instructors, meet the incredible volunteers, and just have an incredible experience, a quality of life experience, that's our really ultimate goal, and get into more territories. So
awesome. Well, thank you, boys. I've been honored to meet you. It was originally through Andrew with Vana. And I think at the Holiday Moto party was first time, and huge supporters and fans now for all these years. I really appreciate everything you guys do, and we all see each other all the time at all the different things, and it's just you're a huge part of the community. It's really meaningful to me. I really appreciate it.
Feelings mutual, Scott. Thank you for all you do. You're a big part of this community, and thank you for your support. And Dump Truck, it's been great meeting you, man. We need to get you out of camp, bro.
I ain't scared. I don't know if anybody told you, but I happen to enjoy having a good time. It's true. There's evidence on the internet and everything. Well, this really has been a great conversation today. I am blessed to be a part of the Rider Justice family and getting to facilitate and be a part of these really important and fun conversations about a lot of different motorcycle experiences. If you've enjoyed it, make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel for the Chasing the Ride podcast, and for all other things moto that you need, riderjustice.com. Work it out.